Guys, today we're going to be talking about how to negotiate for the best price on a used car. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you toward a career to help you create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, guys, today I'm coming at you from my latest ride, the Mercedes C43 AMG. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but more importantly, I want to talk about how I got the best price for this car. I want to share my negotiating secrets with you today. But before I do, I'm pretty sure the vast majority of you guys are new to this channel, and thank you very much for dropping by. Before I start, I think it's important for you to know who I am, and essentially I mentor recent grads, young students, young adults, and not so young adults with regards to their career promotion, career strategy, career growth. But I also talk about social development skill sets, personal development skill sets, because all of this stuff is absolutely related when it comes to creating a life that you're proud of. And one of those skill sets that are so important really is negotiating. I talk a lot about this. I actually have courses regarding negotiating more in the context of the professional life, about how to negotiate in the business setting, how to use it in your day-to-day, but also things when it comes to negotiating for your mortgage, buying a car. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, in particular a material thing like buying a car. But if you like what I have to offer, if you like what I'm trying to say, or the types of strategy and advice that I give, and you want to work with me personally about growing your negotiating skill set on a more professional level, then check out my website 101mentoring.com. I've got a products and services page there. I'll have all the courses available for you there. And hey, maybe you're probably wondering whether you're on the right career path, or maybe you have some questions around it, or not sure if you want to do something different. I've got tons of videos that pertain to that topic. And if you want to learn more and you want to get free mentoring advice, then all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, leave your question in the comment section down below, or go to my website 101mentoring.com, submit your questions to me that way, and I'll answer it in a future video just like this one. Alright guys, so let's get to the topic at hand, and that really comes down to the negotiation of this car. I'm sitting in a beautiful 2018 C43 AMG. I love my ride. This has been treating me very, very well. Purchased it earlier this year, had a Cadillac before that, and then prior to that I had a Camaro and another Camaro before that. I love cars. I enjoy upgrading cars. I like nice things. What can I say? As a result, I've gone through the negotiation song and dance, and I'd like to share this information with you today. So obviously you guys can see here I've got the cranberry interior. I love the interior here. This is the AMG version. Now I know some of you guys are probably thinking that this isn't really an AMG, and I totally understand that too. I'd love to get a C63. At the same time, I really want something with all-wheel drive so that I can handle the Canadian winters here. The 0 to 60 time is 4.5 seconds. Love it, love the sound. Overall, it's a really nice balance between that luxury ride, but also that fun ride as well. All right, so with everything out of the way, let's talk about how to negotiate the best price on a used car. And I say used car because the tactics are going to be different between that and a new car. That's just my personal experience. I was looking at a new car, but for me, value-wise, I found that this used car was a great deal. So I totally took advantage of it, but I am not a snob one way or the other. And I just think whatever circumstances suits you best, go with it. So I've got 8 tips on how to negotiate for a car. And the first one is timing. You really want to go and get a car at the right time. Now, some people say the end of the month to sell an X number of cars or to hit a dollar figure, and the salesman would get a commission as a result. For me, the best time is at the end of a quarter. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. I think Q3 is probably the best time, but in my circumstance, I bought it at the end of Q1, so the end of March. And the reason why I do that is because that's when you have the most leverage. Not only are they trying to wrap up a number of cars or sales at the end of the month, they're also trying to wrap up a number of sales or cars moved at the end of the quarter. There's just a lot more focus. All the business executives are watching how they're ending at the quarter. There's a lot more pressure, and as a result, they're actually more lenient in terms of what they're going to let go. They'd rather move more cars out and hit a target by the end of the quarter. I just know the entire sales floor is gunning to close the quarter strong. So you've got a lot more leverage, and that's why timing is so important. Tip number 2 is that you want to make the dealer or the salesman jump through hoops for you. They're going to have you wait around in the showroom. They're going to have you wait in the office. They're going to go talk to their manager. They're going to have you go from one sales manager to another sales manager to another sales manager. Well, You can do the same, and the very best time to do that is when you're actually trying to trade in your car. That is the best time for you to really take advantage, and that is the first major hoop for them that they'll need to jump through. If they want to get to the next level with you, if they want to start negotiating on the sales price of the car that you want, they're going to have to get through the trade-in price. So use that as your first hoop that they have to jump through. So yes, you're going to do your due diligence. Yes, you're going to do your research and see how much your car is worth. You're going to do all of that, but remember, this is your time to really put the pressure on and lock in a really, really good trade-in number before they even get to the sale price. Just tell them, hey guys, we're not going to go into the sale price yet for the car that I want until you make me happy on the trade-in value. And as a result, you're actually having them jump through that major hoop where you have the most leverage right then and there. Tip number 3 is that you always want to have an out. Whether that means having a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, you always want to have someone else that has the decision-making power. Now, you don't necessarily have to have them have the decision-making power, but you want to create that illusion because it's important for you to always have the ability to say no, or the ability to say that I have to check in with my husband or with my wife. And what that does is it really makes it harder for the salesperson to convince you of the sale. They realize that they have to convince 2 people of the sale. Now, I know when it comes to decision making, when it comes to negotiation, it really feeds your ego to be the decision maker. That power that you have to say yay or nay on something feels really amazing. But when it comes to real negotiation, you want to give up that power. You want to create the illusion that you don't have it. And as a result, in the longer term, in the long game, you actually have more leverage. And that, at the end of the day, is what matters. Now, the 4th tip is to figure out or get an idea of how much the car that you want is actually worth. Now, one way to do it is to go to these websites that actually tells you what the dealer price is, but on a used car, it's a little bit hard to decipher. So there's a couple things you can do. Number 1, you can go to Craigslist. You can actually do some research to see how much that car is worth on the market. And at the same time, you can use Kelley Blue Book or the Canadian Black Book to figure out what the trade-in value is, and then you can understand and see how much of a markup there is to the car that you want. Now, why do you do that? Because this is exactly what the salespeople use against you with regards to your trade-in. When you trade in your car, they're going to whip out the Canadian Black Book or the Kelley Blue Book and look at the value there, and then give you a trade-in value based on that number. Use that number and then dock off of that number every time there's an imperfection on your car, or if it needs new tires or new brakes. So you really want to use that same approach, but against them. So let's say I do a Kelley Blue Book on this particular AMG C63, and I see that it's $70,000 on Kelley Blue Book, but they're charging me $80,000. So I'm going to ask them, why is there a $10,000 difference? What is that markup for? And I'm going to hammer them down closer to the Blue Book value. No different than what they would do with regards to my trade-in. Yes, the dealer needs to make some money, but chances are they already are. These guys do it every day, day in and day out. They have way more advantage with regards to negotiating. So the harder we can hit them, the better. Chances are they're still going to come out on top regardless, but at least it saves us a few $1,000s. So essentially you want to use the Kelley Blue Book number to drive the price as low as possible, as low as you can to that number or below. And essentially that's going to get you to the right price that you want. And speaking of price, tip number 5, you want to make sure that you actually have the right price in your mind that you're going to be happy with, either that you're willing to pull the trigger on or to walk away from. It's important for you to have established what your final price is going to be that you are going to be happy with, and this is really going to help you with your decision-making process. And again, you're staying away from the whole monthly payments discussion. You're talking about the overall price of the vehicle. All right, tip number 6. Now that you've nailed down the price to where you want it, this is usually where a lot of people pretty much finish the conversation. They're happy, they got the price, they hammered the salesperson as hard as they can on the trade-in. Now they hammered as hard as they can with regards to the actual price of the vehicle, the purchase price of the vehicle. You're not done. The 6th tip is to now hammer them in on things like putting on fresh new tires, putting on fresh new rims, getting a brake job built into the quote. Don't forget about windshield wipers, and maybe you want them to fix your paint. All of these things are negotiable, and you can add all of these into your actual final price. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, Brian, that's just way too much to ask for. That's almost unfair to the dealer. Well, here's what I say to that. They use that against you on your trade-in. every time they go around your car and they do your assessment of the trade-in value, they kick around the tires, they're looking at every imperfection, they're looking at how old the tires are, if they need to be replaced, how many kilometers you have, because they need to gauge if they need to change the brakes, they need to fix up any scratches, and they ding all of that against you, right? So that they can then lower the trade-in price. How is that any different for you? You're buying a used car, so you can do the exact same thing. And what I will do is I'll ask them to replace all of these things, or as much as they can, into the price that we just negotiated for. It saves you money out of pocket. These are all cash that you're going to spend in maintenance fees over the next 6 months, years, 2 years, whatever the case may be. So you might as well negotiate for that now. After you've done all of that, here's my last tip. Now you want to add in any service packages into your quote, right? Into your price. Again, think about it. These guys offer a lot of the times oil changes or service maintenance packages that they would sell for, $2,000, $3,000, $1,500, and that could cover you over the next couple years, 3 years, 2 years. Now you can ask them to put that into your quote. Now remember, the true cost for them isn't actually $2,000. It's probably half of that because they're paying everything at cost and the labor costs are much cheaper for them. But for you, that's still $2,000 that you can save. So you might as well have them throw everything in for you. Now, the caveat to all of this, everything that I've talked about, is that you have to be ready to buy. As long as they know that you're hot, that you're ready, that you're willing to pull the trigger on buying the car, and you can wave a check in front of them, show them that you are ready to buy, they're willing to make this deal for you. Remember, because you got the timing down right, you're going to hit them at the end of the quarter, they're going to be more willing to go with you on this deal because now they can report higher sales, total cars sold, or move at the end of the quarter. It's going to report well. Chances are they're going to have some sort of bonus from it anyway, even though they're going to lose profit on the actual sale of this specific car to you. Overall, they're still making a gain. And as a result, they're willing to take a hit here, but for a longer term gain. So guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you like my approach and how to negotiate, remember that I also take this approach and strategy with regards to your salary, with regards to promotion, with regards to how to deal with finicky customers, or about your own business. This is all important tactics, skill sets to have. How to negotiate is so important. I'm talking about negotiation today in the context of a material purchase, but there's also a lot more when it comes to your actual growth, your actual success. And if you want to learn more about that, go to my website, 101mentoring.com. I'll have a products and services page there and a specific course on how to negotiate. Definitely check it out. It is content packed. You can get way more information on my website. Guys, if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video, we can talk about your career, social skills development, personal development. Send them over to me, 101mentoring.com. Submit your question and I'll answer it in a future video just like this one. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.